Hi, everybody. This is Alan Fine, and we're here with someone we've seen a lot on Insider Travel Report, Debbie Fiorino, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Dream Vacations, CruiseOne, and Cruises, Inc., who are all part of World Travel Holdings. They just had a big annual conference like they have every year. A little different, not quite on Celebrity Apex, but it was still exciting. We'll talk about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Debbie, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me, Alan, as always.
How are you and where are you?
I'm at home today. I work between here and the Fort Lauderdale office, which is open. Not many people there, but I'm in a suburb right now in Broward County in my home office. And okay, I'm great.
So people are coming into work.
Yep, handful. We're following social distancing, masks in the hallways. Not a lot, but some people, like myself, prefer to be in an office away from my family when I'm working. So for the most part, I go there when I can.
It's amazing how much we were able to do. And the fact is your travel advisors were working from home anyway. It's
right.
Just amazing.
Yep, it is. And it just shows the world how much you can do from home.
Now let's talk about the conference. It was named what and why?
It was named Vision 2020, pun intended. Right. We named it well before all this started. You typically go out to the network and ask for ideas, and this was one of the big ones because it was the year 2020. People thought vision would be a great theme. It ended up being a great theme because vision doesn't go away. It's more important now than ever.
Right. Who attended year over year? Usually people are physically having to get to a conference. They didn't have to physically do that, so your numbers had to have been up.
The numbers were way up. So we had over 900 people with headquarters and suppliers. If this was in person, it would be about 1,500 people, and that compares to about 1,000 typically, because we would have guests and whatnot. So it's just agents. We had over 900 with headquarters and suppliers with no guests. So it definitely gave access to so many more people, and we saw that when we saw people commenting through the technology on our Facebook page that they were a first-time conference, and it was so great that they were able to attend because it was virtual.
I'm hoping that they can imagine all that fun on a cruise ship.
Which is exactly what we try to do, and I think we did. Like we didn't expect the engagement we got or the fun that we knew we were going to try to have fun, but it actually worked. And so I saw many people saying I cannot miss conference next year now.
And I remember talking to you a while ago about membership and how you would groom and grow it, but you couldn't grow it too much because you wanted to give it the support that it needed.
Yep.
And now more than ever, that's really what you've been doing. Has the membership grown even in the middle of a pandemic?
It has. It has not certainly grown to the expectations that we had before the pandemic going into 2020, but it's grown more than we expected once we knew we were in a pandemic. And listen, I think that people, unfortunately, have lost their jobs. Same thing happened after the crisis in 2008, where executives, people in sales have lost their jobs, and they may be saying, I don't think I want to go back into corporate America. I want to run my own business. And so they're still seeking out franchising. They're still seeking out low-cost franchises, which we have one of, working from home. And yes, travel has stopped from a cruising perspective. Still travel is happening domestically and to other destinations. And they recognize that, but they also recognize getting in now allows them to do all the training, all the product that they have to learn, their business plan, and they'll be ready for that, you've been hearing, pent-up demand that we know is going to come. And so they're ready for it. So we have classes. We actually been having 2 classes every month virtually, not in our Fort Lauderdale offices, and it's been very successful.
But I mean, the virtual classes would have been helpful years ago. So it's actually a great thing anyway.
It is a great thing anyway. When this first happened, I remember Drew and I looking at each other saying, how can we switch our 6-day in-person training to a virtual class? And our director of training charity was like, we can do it. And they quickly transformed, didn't miss a beat. It's evolved and gotten better. And it's going to help us in the future when we are able to get back in person to have some type of blended learning for sure, and allow more people to be able to participate.
And that's the other thing is that your conference will probably always have a component to the people who can't get there that still want to participate.
Absolutely. There's so many learnings, right? And making sure that we take those learnings and adopt them when we're back. Nothing beats being in person for sure. But the virtual world has opened up the doors for so many more people. The technology is there, the ability to do it well is there, and you're going to be able to involve more people that never would have been able to go to a 7-night conference on a ship.
I can imagine, there are groups of people who go to conference and they hang out together. And then what if one of them can't go and now they're able to go virtually? And I can imagine that happening in the future.
Absolutely. We used to have a bunch of our agents who couldn't go to conference on our Facebook page prior to this year. They used to have what they called pretend conference. And they used to do the theme nights and they used to do all those things and they would get on Facebook themselves. And so now they're these people that used to do this pretend conference are like, see, we showed you we could do this virtually. And so it's evolved to something else.
Okay. So the World Travel Holdings mission means more now than ever. Why don't you tell us why?
So our mission statement is to deliver a remarkable experience. It's our only job is really especially for the home-based division of Dream Vacations, CruiseOne, and Cruises Inc. is to deliver on that experience for our customers, which are travel advisors. We go on to define it because deliver a remarkable experience can mean different things to different people, to say we care more about you. And we really feel we do. And we really feel that this conference showed that we don't just say it. While we couldn't be in person, we didn't just say, well, we'll just do a couple of webinars and get them some content. And, the team cared so much about making it as much like an in-person conference with theme nights, New Year's Eve party. We had 200 people on Zoom, more than 200 people on Zoom at one time with 2 DJs, and everyone danced for an hour in their chairs, standing up. Their families came in. It was incredible. So, we knew that we needed to care as much about the virtual conference as we did as the in-person. And I think that's just a small example of how our mission means so much to everything that we do. And it's so important these days, both for us and for our agents, to show their customers how much they care about them right now. And it's not just about sales, it's about caring about who you're working with. So they'll come back to you when they're ready.
It trickles down.
It definitely trickles down.
And it's not just about partying, and we'll get to it. There's a lot of training because they are all getting ready for this new boom year or boom decade, I'm thinking. Let's talk about MarTech.
Mm-hmm.
I love the term MarTech.
I love that. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So you've been investing in marketing, promotions, programs, and technology. Let's talk about what's new.
Absolutely. Listen, we've all, as an industry, had to make some tough decisions about, whether it's reducing staff, saving money, getting through the crisis so that you can be on the other side to get up the pent-up demand. But in spite of having to make some of those tough decisions, WTH has not stopped investing in the network. And so MarTech is exactly what that is, because everything that we're doing has a marketing and technology component. And so immediately, future cruise credits was all that was the word that it's a new terminology, FCC, right? And so we added tools in My Cruise Control, which is our own software that we use for reservation system. So the agent could track future cruise credits for land and cruise, and allows them to track credits. So when the customer is ready to book, they're able to act on them.
That had to have been a huge headache. So that's now solved.
Huge. And immediately, we have an IT committee made up of travel advisors that help us decide what we're going to do in technology, because there's nothing like hearing from the people that are using it what should be done. One of the first things they said was we need a better way to track FCCs. It's a new type of currency that we didn't really have an issue. We didn't have volume before. And so immediately the IT team went to work with the agents to design it and use it and make it so user-friendly so that they have something, because there are a lot of them out there and they need to make sure they're on top of them so that the customer doesn't go back direct to the cruise line, that they go to them to book their FCC.
Right.
And so in the same time, we had to make sure that people knew from a marketing perspective, dedicated emails, landing pages, social media campaigns, just educating the clients the value of what they had and inspire them to book another vacation when they felt comfortable. Then they could put them on the books now for 2021 if they felt like it, or they could put on the books for earlier if they felt comfortable. We created a video travel guide video series to educate clients on the importance of it as well, because video, as you know, speaks really well to explain exactly how they can leverage that FCC with their travel advisor.
So some of the other things that I was hearing about was a new sales reporting tool.
Yeah, we have a very slick, very enhanced. I mean, we always had sales reporting tools, right? You can't get through your business without it. But we just created a brand new sales reporting tool, again, based on what the agents were telling us, the network was telling us what's most important and how they can export that data easily into Excel. So for those who want to manipulate more and do more crazy things in Excel, right, can do it. And those who don't can just get a nice, pretty picture on their computer every morning that shows exactly where they stand, and show like side-by-side comparisons on how they've been doing over the last 5 years. What's interesting is cancellations have never been a big need for data because hopefully you don't have many cancellations normally. But in light of COVID, cancellations was a big number that they, thing that they needed to track. So we put a lot more sales reporting into cancellations so that they can track those and get back to those customers.
And then you now, did you refine the online consumer payments?
We did. So we had some ability to go online and make some payments, but we've completely allowed them to safely pay for their cruise vacation completely through a consumer website for deposited FIT bookings. And it pays the cruise lines directly and updates their bookings internally. So it's a huge saver of time for them, especially as when they start to get busy again, which they will, and they don't have to take those other payment phone calls for sure.
Now, there's another World Travel Holdings division, Villas of Distinction, and my pals Willie and Steve.
Yes.
Tell me what you guys are doing to help them.
Obviously, World Travel Holdings has a lot of different tentacles. Luxuries Villas is one of them. And we've always worked closely with Willie and Steve to make sure that we're supporting.
Well, let's say their names.
I'm sorry, Willie Fernandez and Steve Lassman from Villas of Distinction, absolutely. But what we did when we were with COVID and cruising wasn't happening, we know that domestic land and international land is still happening, and people want to stay in their bubble with their family. And so what's a better vacation than a villa? I did one last year with my family. It was phenomenal in Jamaica. So what we did, because we saw that demand, we added a white label Villa's website to our agent's consumer website. So consumers aren't able to book on it, but they're able to timely see the availability and pricing, fill out an online form, and agent can get back to them. It's built right into their websites, and we're seeing some great success with that. And Villas is seeing some great success.
And they have a lot of villas.
Yes,
I know,
a ton of
all
villas.
over the world.
All over the world. Absolutely. Great. It's if you haven't been there, if you want to dream, go to villasdistinction.com. It will definitely make you want to go on vacation.
And you mentioned a moment ago, I think a little while ago, about mass emailing solution.
Yeah.
What's the change? Because you've always had.
Yes, we've always had emailing solutions, but we've completely enhanced a solution so they can customize newsletters, customize mass emails to their clients, providing them with templates that they just have to personalize. Really, the idea behind this is to strengthen their engagement, their retention, and their loyalty with their customers. It's completely integrated with My Cruise Control. It makes it seamless. It was the new program when it was rolled out, and Alicia and Sandy showed the technology behind it and the design behind it and the custom templates behind it. That was the biggest moment at conference for sure. The reviews were amazing, and it's completely free to our customers, to the agents to use however they wish.
I can just imagine the steering committee saying, what about the people who go into our shopping carts and they don't finish?
Absolutely. So we've always had a shopping cart abandonment program, and basically that means if someone goes on the website, we basically send them a series of emails saying, hey, you were looking at this. Hey, you were looking at this. Where are you? You want to come back? And so we did that years ago as part of World Travel Holdings, which does it for all its brands. But what we did was we were hearing from our agents is they weren't getting the analytics and data that they needed to know who's receiving these emails, so they could independently step in and call them and say, hey, I saw that you were on my website. How can I help you? So we were doing it from an automation perspective, but now we had to give the agents tools to also do it from a personal perspective.
Which is what you guys are all about. So
all
it's about time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then what about the hosted virtual travel events?
So we've had virtual cruise nights for many years, where we partnered with a cruise line. They sat down with a Q&A session, typically with Drew and a travel executive. They've grown in huge popularity. They're a great way to engage with the client, get them excited to book a vacation. In the past, they were not able to tell which of their clients attended the virtual events. So now this new technology platform where agents are going to be able to see who signs up, attends the events, and provides them with enhanced customer insights for better customer follow-up. So again, just giving them more tools. We do such great automation stuff, but sometimes we want to make sure that the agent has the data so they can go back out and follow up. And the agents can invite their friends, their family to attend, and they promote it on social media. It's a really great way for them to engage. Again, video works really well.
Video, and then the follow-up with the human touch.
Yes, absolutely.
It seems like everything that you do works that way.
Yes.
So let's talk some numbers. Let's step away from the conference and just talk about booking for the end of 2020 and then the slow transition year of 2021 and beyond. And let's just talk about that. And then what's hot? What I mean, obviously land and nearby. Let's go over specifics though.
Sure, sorry. So as we look at WTH, our home base, and we've been saying this, screaming it from the rooftops because it's really great. The home-based agency channel is doing better than the online, the OTAs. And we know because we own both. And so we can look inside and we can say, for sure, people want to seek the comfort and advice of a professional. So that's one of the biggest trends that we're seeing is that those numbers are higher than we've ever seen and higher than our OTAs, which is so great, right? The couple trends, I guess, that I would talk about is we're seeing an increase in non-cruise travel in the last 90 days, so land. We're also seeing people travel within 90 days. So we're talking about a lot of people, obviously booking cruises further out is one thing because cruising isn't happening, but people are traveling to domestic and international destinations that they can travel to, like Mexico, Caribbean, Punta Cana, Aruba, in the next 90 days. And so don't forget about your customers that might want to get away now. And I think a lot of customers don't even know it's open. So reaching out and saying, hey, these places are open, people are saying, okay, I'll go. And a lot of our agents are traveling to those places, sharing it on social media so they can show how it's safe, what the resorts are doing, how it's clean. And that's really, really working. So you're right, land is a big part of what's happening right now. Villas, days that were surpassing last year's sales. Just last week, I think it was that we surpassed the same week last year, which is incredible in this environment to surpass what you did in 2019.
For land.
For villas, that was for villas.
For villas.
Yeah. For land, we're getting close. We have had weeks where we've gotten to about the same. We're still down year over year, but it's so much closer than where cruises, and it's getting better every day. Every week and every day, land numbers are continuing to improve. For cruise, obviously we're seeing the second half of 2021 is really strong, and that's what the cruise lines have been saying as well. It's actually greater than what we had on the books in 2019. In several of those months, we're starting to see more and more bookings. So that's really, really great news because, what I was saying at conference a lot was, listen, people are going to travel. You can tell because they're going to destinations that they can go to. The only reason they're not going on a cruise right now is because they can't. And so as soon as they can, they will. And so it's just a matter of that.
Wait, did you see that Royal Caribbean has had 100,000 requests to be on the test runs?
That's crazy and not necessarily surprising.
No. It's just more proof of what we were saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the airlines have done a good job of showing that they're trying to be safe. The ability to get to Mexico has felt safe. The ability to get to the islands has felt safe. The problem, of course, is when you get there, you have to spend a day or two proving yourself, being tested again. So I think at this point, part of what you're doing with your travel advisors is training them so that if a client says, I want to travel, where's it safe? They know.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing because there's so much information out there and people don't know. And so how do you make sure that, and we give them the tools. Rachel, Shapiro on our PR team, in the communications team put together as much information as possible, but the agent needs to learn it and know it. And then use that information to talk to their consumers about it, because consumers don't know. I think there's a lot of information out there, and a lot of false information out there. And so making sure they know, and some islands are easier to go to than others. And so knowing that as well, because someone might be like, I don't want a hassle. And so, okay, go here. If you're okay with the hassle and you really want to go somewhere else, go here. And so that's the benefit of the travel advisor, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So now let's cut to 2021 National Conference. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So we lifted and shifted our conference. It was on the Celebrity Apex last week. That's where it was supposed to be. We lifted and shifted celebrities, and so great to work with. I mean, we didn't cancel our conference until right until we had to, because we didn't know. If sailing was going to start, we were prepared to go, and so they worked with us. They lifted and shifted it. So we will be on the brand new Celebrity Apex November 13th through 20th of 2021, and we couldn't be more excited. And you'll be there with us, right, Alan?
Oh yeah, I've got it written down.
Good.
I wouldn't miss the fun unless my partner says he has to go.
No, you have to go.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Is there anything else you want to tell our over 100? Well, no, I shouldn't say over 100,000, because what we did was we always clean our list. We're under 100,000, but it's a more viable list.
More viable list. That's important. It's important.
But so is there anything you want to say to our almost 100,000 travel advisors who are watching and learning about Dream Vacations, CruiseOne, Cruises Inc.?
The only thing I've been saying every opportunity I can is, and I just did something at Cruise World on Friday. I just did a TW talk on Friday morning, and it was all about, they asked us to pick a word that's in the nautical theme. And so I picked crew, and I related the crew to everyone in travel, but especially to travel advisors. I think we've done a lot as an industry. I think this pandemic has even shown the value of the travel advisor even more. I think our agents do a really good job talking about why use a travel advisor. But I think we can do an even better job as an industry. I think there's a lot more opportunity out there. I don't think consumers understand exactly how valuable, all consumers, a travel advisor is, beyond your service that you give and the follow-up that you give and the ability, the pricing the cruise lines give us, the exclusive promotions the cruise lines give us, just the economic support. And I think as an industry, we have to continue to do better telling people why book with a travel advisor. And I think the cruise lines and the suppliers can help us there, because they support us without a doubt. But for them to use like a marketing piece to say you should go use a travel advisor would be really helpful to this industry, to the travel agency distribution channel, to make sure that they can survive it and pick up the pent-up demand. Carnival has WATA, Why Use a Travel Advisor, which is a great program. So I'm speaking to something like that. We are telling consumers, because we can tell consumers all day long why use us. But of course, it's, they're going to be like, it's a sales spin, right? You're going to tell us to use you. But if it's someone like the cruise lines tell customers, you should go direct to a travel agent and not direct to the cruise line, it would be game changing for our industry. So that's what I've been preaching quite a bit lately.
Well, the bottom line is that they need a third party to say, you'll get more. I won't give it to you direct.
That's
but if
right.
You go to them,
you'll get more. That's
because
it.
The greed is really the...
That's it. That's exactly it, Alan. That's exactly it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we've got just a few more minutes. Do you want to give us a little bit of your uplifting talk about why we should feel good about the future?
Sure. I mean, I focused on vision, in that the fact that you have to still have vision. The second, there's two definitions for vision. One is about sight, and the other one is about looking towards the future with imagination or wisdom. And so we spoke a lot about that, and that regardless of what's going on, you never know the future. So why would you ever expect that you know what the future holds? You always have to think about your vision without knowing what's going to happen. So I spoke a lot about that. But I think the most memorable part of what I spoke about is we don't want to wish time away. And I know this is emotional for you as well, because I know you told me that your dad taught you that, your late father. So I've always personally struggled with feeling like time goes by way too fast. Oh, that's awesome.
He's with me on every interview.
That is awesome. I love it. I've always struggled with feeling like time goes by too fast. And the only thing that's constant is time. It doesn't go by any faster or slower. It's how your mindset about it. And during COVID, you hear a lot of people, and I know I've been guilty of it, say, I wish this time away. I wish it was 2021. I wish we weren't here. I just want to get somewhere else. And it just made me think, I'm like, man, we're wishing for time away from our families and our friends. My son's 14. I don't want to just know him when he was 15 and 13. I want to know when he was 14. And so don't wish the time away. Wish COVID away. And there will be a time without COVID. But I think what really got me a lot too was that I sent out this Debbie's Take every Monday morning. And that was my speech. It was Debbie's Take Live. And I get back so many emails. And when you know thousands of people in your network, I'm lucky I have thousands of people in my life, you hear about great things and tragic things. And there have been tragic things that have happened in our network. We've lost some really great people this year and every year. And they've lost some people in their lives. And I can't imagine them wishing any day away, one less day away from who they loved, just because of COVID.
One less day on this earth because of this.
No, we can't. We have to stop wishing the time away. There's so many learnings in 2020. I know it's hard to say. It sounds cliche. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to be better for it. We're in the middle of the crisis. You can't see sometimes through the hurricane. You can't see through the setback. But the comeback is so much greater, and we'll appreciate it when we get there. In the meantime, stop wishing time away. Live every moment.
Debbie, thank you. And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.